My name's Elena Della Cava. I'm a fourth-year resident at Montefiore and the chief resident of the outpatient department. I'm from New York originally, from the Bronx, went to medical school in Philadelphia, moved back for residency. So I'm a gut feeling sort of person. When I came to Montefiore, I really felt comfortable and like I would be supported, and that the focus was on the residents' education. I came back for a second look, actually, just to kind of make sure that I still felt comfortable, and I had the same feeling again. I felt great. I think starting sort of from the top up, I think the chairman at this department really emphasizes resident education and residents sort of cultivating themselves personally. I think that you see that in terms of our didactic day. On Thursdays, we have a dedicated day just for lectures. We're not getting interrupted during the day when we're there to learn. We also there's an emphasis on psychotherapy at this program that I've really enjoyed. I'm interested in doing outpatient work in the future. And so to have patients that I've been able to see now for 2 years that are weekly therapy cases, I think is unique to this program. It's not just sort of medication management. So this year, I'm chief resident of the adult outpatient department, and so I sort of have that job that's going on at the same time of covering my own patients. So I'm sort of have an administrative role in addition to my role as a clinician. I do supervision with the residents that I'm working with this year, the third-year residents, and really the role of supervision is for me to help them with anything that they need, whether it's a clinical issue, sort of talking through their therapeutic work with the patient, medication management questions, administrative work, sort of paperwork, and it's been a great experience for me. The residents are only a year before me in training, so having the opportunity to teach them and help them has really been very educational for myself. I would say my favorite rotation has been the geriatric psychiatry rotation. I'm pursuing a fellowship in geriatric psychiatry when I graduate. And during that rotation, I had the opportunity to work with our faculty here, Dr. Kennedy and Dr. Scalmati, who are wonderful mentors and have really guided me. I did a scholars program, and that was sort of via their encouragement. I had the opportunity to go to Orlando and present a poster, and that was sort of supported by the program, funded by the department. And during that rotation, I had the opportunity to do home visits with one of the geriatric psychiatrists. I also really enjoyed the adult outpatient rotation. That's why I've chosen to stay on as chief resident. I think that our program is wonderful in the fact that it really emphasizes psychotherapy in addition to really becoming very sound at medication management. So during that rotation, I felt like I had a great depth and breadth in terms of the kinds of patients I had with very different diagnoses and presentations, and supervision in both psychodynamic psychotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, group therapy, family therapy. I had a specific psychopharm supervisor. I met with the chief resident on a weekly basis. The faculty in general is extremely approachable, so I had a lot of opportunity to learn, and I worked with patients both for weekly therapy and medication management. I felt like I had a really good experience in both. I also had the chance to work with 2 medical students, just kind of a different experience than we had the patients in the community and then grad students, which was very cool. There's tons to do in New York, and that's part of what attracted me to come back here for residency. I really love restaurants, and so that was a big draw for me. But in terms of culture, there are shows to see, there are museums to go to. We have beautiful parks here in New York, and in the Bronx specifically, there's the Bronx Botanical Gardens, there's the Bronx Zoo, there's Wave Hill in Riverdale. I really like going to Arthur Avenue. It's sort of this long sort of street with a lot of good Italian restaurants and delis. My grandparents have gone there for many years. So again, this is something that's kind of my experience growing up, and it's been nice to introduce my co-residents to that part of town. In terms of Riverdale, I go there often to see co-residents that live there, both in the housing and out of the housing. And I think that that's been a great location for people who have kids and families and people who don't. It's just convenient. The faculty at Montefiore has been excellent. From day one, I was very impressed sort of how present the faculty was from the first rotation on the inpatient unit as an intern. The faculty members were sort of seeking us out, sort of making sure that our transition was going okay, making sure that they carved out time to meet with us individually to kind of talk through cases. And kind of as I've continued through my residency, it's been the same experience. People are extremely approachable, knowledgeable, and it's a very warm, sort of inclusive environment here. Thursdays is our sort of dedicated didactic day. During that day, really, no one is supposed to page us unless there's a true emergency. It's really a day that the focus is just on our education. We also go to grand rounds, and so that's everyone in the department after our first lecture on Thursdays. And after grand rounds, we have a lunch. Each class has an associate training director. So in addition to our program director, there's an associate director for each class. So that's an opportunity for us to have lunch sort of in an informal setting with the associate director and just talk about how our experience is going in our different sites. What my experience here as a resident has been that feedback that we give is taken very seriously, and things really are modified to improve the rotations. I would say that we have an ideal work-life balance in that I feel like I'm being asked to do enough work where I feel prepared to work as an attending when I graduate, but I also have enough time to pursue my life outside of work. And that's something that's very important to me. I wanted to make sure that I saw enough patients and was exposed to enough clinical material that I would feel very prepared. And I think that that's definitely been the case. I think that we're very fortunate to be working in the Bronx. The Bronx is a very diverse patient population in terms of ethnic backgrounds, in terms of socioeconomic backgrounds. I have patients truly from all walks of life. There's an emphasis here on sort of becoming culturally competent as a provider, and I think that we have a lot of opportunity to work with people who are from different backgrounds, and that's been great. I'm very happy with my decision to come to Montefiore. I think that my training has been excellent sort of across the board in terms of inpatient. I had a really great experience in the outpatient department, and that's why I chose to stay on as chief. Actually going into geriatric psychiatry, and I thought that rotation was really strong. I've made wonderful friends. I have great relationships with my mentors, so it's been very good.